So now that the market is getting hotter, let me first of all tell you why the market's getting hotter. Well, last month, the buyer demand, this is figures released by Rightmove, by the way, so they know. Buyer demand or buyer activity increased by a whopping 19%. 19%, that's a fifth. That's massive. So we've got that huge increase, and that has been directly fueled by the drop in interest rates. So we've got interest rates going down, buyer demand coming up. That's the market improving massively. It's what we've been waiting for. So if you're not getting interest at the moment, I can definitely tell you why. Let's have a look at some actual data from Rightmove, and then I'll give you some tips on what you can do to increase the interest either with your current agent or just switch to another agent. That decision would be up to you, but let me show you my logic behind it. Let's have a look. So most people that are hot buyers in the market ready to buy will be using Rightmove to its full capabilities. And the biggest feature on Rightmove, in my experience, for the buyers that are actually going to buy are the ones that have the property alerts. Okay, so let me just explain property alerts and then I'll show you how it work. An alert, so property alert on Rightmove will tell you when a property within your criteria comes to market. So let's look at an example here. If we were looking in B91 and we were looking between the price of, say, I don't know, 425,000 up to, hang on a second, up to, let's say, let's not make it a huge range, let's say 550,000. So 425,000 up to 550,000. And you can see here there's a few properties, okay? So if someone's been through these properties and hasn't found what they're looking for, they would then want to be notified about new properties coming to market. So B91, 425 to 550, new properties coming to market. Then you can see that alert there, right? So I'm going to say, I would like to know exactly the day and the time that a new property comes to market. I want that coming into my email so that I can book a viewing with that agent straight away. And so I click on create alert, and I want to get notified either daily, so I can look at the properties daily, every 3 days or every 7 days. Every 7 days, if you're tentatively looking, you're thinking, might want to move, let's see what the market's doing. People would use 7 days. Every 3 days is a bit more keen. Daily is probably that you're busy during the day and you want to look at them at the same time every evening. And instantly is for those people who are like, I need to find a house. So they straight away want houses that are hitting the market. They want to see them straight away. So let's press instantly there. And I click create alert. That's it. The alert has now been created. So I will now get, as soon as a property within that criteria, B91, between 425,000 and 550,000, I will now get an alert for that immediately. As whatever agent in Solihull puts that house on the market, I will get notified immediately. Even if it's an agent outside of Solihull, but they put a house on the market in B91, I will get that notification. Now, here's what's important. If you are on the market at the moment, your interest only stays for the first 2 to 4 weeks. Let me show you some data on that. So we've jumped across to the back office of Rightmove that us estate agents get access to. And you can see this is a property on Dunley Croft that I sold. So here's a couple of interesting things. This graph shows you the amount of detailed views per day. So the amount of people that are clicking in and having a detailed view of the property. This initial spike here, if we just go back and do, say, last 60 days, that will be the initial spike there, right? And this you can see, oh no, sorry, let's go back to since listed. So we listed this one in May, and you can see that initial spike of activity. Now that initial spike of activity only lasts between 2 and 4 weeks, sometimes not even that long. So you can see that's a month. From there to there's a month. So that's May, when it was listed on the 8th of May, and that then comes into June. So if you slice this down the middle here, it's probably only a week or two. Okay. So now let's jump forward a bit, and we can see that spike there. That spike is where the price changed. So you get your highest amount of interest in your first 2 weeks on the market. And the only other way to generate interest then further on down the line is to change your price. Or if you don't want to change your price, you've got to change agents. Because when you change agents, the property alert goes out to everyone that is registered for properties in that criteria. So I hope that makes sense. When you change agents, your property comes back to market as a new listing, and it gets sent out again on property alerts. If the only other thing you can do, according to Rightmove, if you change your price by more than 2%, then it will go out on the property alerts again. And that's what we did on this property. Okay. So we listed it here. The interest dropped off. We had spikes of interest. And by the way, that line down there is similar properties. So still, as an agent, I'm still generating much better interest on this property than similar properties. So you can see the key there, similar properties, and you can see the line there, similar properties. It only dropped below similar properties once I'd sold it. Okay. So we changed the price here from 590 down to 575, and it spiked interest again because those property alerts got sent out. Okay. So up it goes, and then the interest dropped off again. And you can see there an S is status change from available to sold subject to contract. So we were able to generate some interest straight away. We then didn't get the offers that we wanted. Well, we did, but they were relying on a house to sell. And then we changed the price, spiked the interest again. And about 3 weeks later, we managed to go sold subject to contract. So you can see that when a property comes to market, the spikes in interest are only for the first 2 weeks after a price change, and that directly relates to property alerts. Okay, so if you're a buyer, get your property alert sorted so you know what's coming to market. If you're a seller, just be aware if you are 6 weeks down the line, 7, 8 weeks down the line, and you're not getting much interest on your property, there's only two things to do. One, change agents. That's probably the best advice, because even if your current agent is doing a great job, they can't relist it as a new property and therefore get that massive spike in interest. They have to resort to reducing the price, i.e. on here, to get that spike in interest. Guys, I hope that all makes sense to you. Property alerts are very important. If you want to have a chat about these property alerts, you just want some advice, or you want me to come out and market your property, get in touch on the details below, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.